One, two, one, two. It's your boy Jay Salam, aka Brother Jabril. The show is Exposure, and that is happening next Saturday, the 26th of July, 2025, with myself, DJ Nimbus, and our special guest today, DJ Gia. GIA? Huh.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hailing from Detroit, in Houston now, by way of Detroit. Where else have you been?
Oh, great question. So I have actually lived in New Mexico. So was in Detroit, I got a master's in New Mexico and then came to Houston. I was like, I love the South. I'm gonna stay here.
The South is pretty nice. It's not bad.
Yeah.
I love living in Atlanta, but certainly miss Houston. What do you? How long have you been out here? I would say, how long have you been in Houston?
So I've been in Houston like 4 years now.
So what caused the bug in you? Like, what did you? How did you get started in the DJ world?
Yeah, so I mean it was a journey, but I think just being a part of the culture. So of course, going to festivals and you're really enjoying yourself. And then you start getting into artists and selections, and then you start thinking about arrangements of how, okay, well, if I were that DJ, I would play this after this. And I think that would like uplift the energy. So thinking about that. Also, at the time, I didn't see many female DJs in the industry, which females are rocking it now, and I love it. So I was like, we need more women. I think I went to a festival and I think I saw all the female DJs. It was just a small pinch compared to the male DJs. And I was like, okay, where are the ladies?
It is great to see. Number one, it's great to see some feminine energy in what we do, but also see that being supported. Through like, but in my days, there was Super Jane, which was like a really big female DJ collective out of Chicago, and so DJ Heather, DJ uh, Dehoda, Colette, all of these
What?
great Chicago-based DJs. Is my internet coming in okay? By the way, yeah. We'll just kind of soldier through it though. Um, so I like to ask all my guests to finish the sentence I DJ because, and really it's just about what is your motivation, like what is the, we have our all of our things that kind of motivate us about music, but what is it that really is the foundation for you? So if you were to finish the sentence I DJ because, how would that sound?
Yeah, it means various things for me. I DJ because music has healed me. In some really dry places. I mean, at one point in my life, I stopped listening to for music for a couple of years, and then I went to a festival with my dad. So it also connects me with my father too, who's very much into house music and techno. But I went to that festival and they were playing soulful house music, and I was like, "Wow, this is speaking to me." Nothing was speaking to me, and that spoke to me. And then I took that and started a little radio show, and I called it Make Me Feel It Mondays because Soulful House made me feel again. So it helps me to connect. And also, like I said, I feel like electronic is very uplifting. It can be. So I want to share that and uplift other people. I want to connect to people. I want when I DJ at various venues, I know people are like using their precious time and money, to leave their house, their safe, hopefully safe place to hopefully uplift their energy or escape from something or to raise their vibration higher. So that's what DJing for me does. It raises that vibration, it heals, it connects. Um, it's a boost, of euphoria. Yeah, I know for me, just to continue that, I've naturally been very quiet and very shy. So I think DJing also helped me to break out of my shell because I didn't have to speak. I could just play something, I could hide behind a little booth. But I am working on that because I realize what I am realizing is that, if you're not enjoying your own music, how can others truly enjoy it? So I'm definitely working on just enjoying more and spreading that energy too.
What did you do your undergraduate on?
My undergrad degree is in architecture.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I've always been like just enjoying the arts, whether it's drawing or singing, playing instruments, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
No, I wanted to be an architect when I was a kid. In high school, that's what I imagined myself being.
okay.
Um, but I just kind of dropped away from that. Really, it was more
Yeah.
I was more into creating drawings and things like that. But I did at one point think I was going to be an architect as an adult. What did you do your graduate degree in?
I did it in the same actually. So you have to have a master's in order to really be a professional architect. And
Right.
it's still more to it in addition to that. So yeah, just
Sure.
that.
I mean, you're dealing with like precise uh measurements and precise placement for things to be within code and all the other things that are associated with being an architect. If you're doing, heavy builds or you're doing like buildings or you're doing residential homes, they all have their own,
Yes.
specialty and in focus, right?
Definitely. And thankfully, I know you have a question about technology, but technology does help a lot in architecture these days. It's a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of it kind of checks the work for you. It's like, hey, this roof is not gonna sit on your walls correctly the way that you're designing this. It'll just like ping you like, no, you need to
Yeah.
try again here. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you need to know a little bit about everything, I think, especially when you're an architect, because you got to think about, you kind of have to be an engineer. You have to understand the way um, things should be loaded as far as the weight and
Mhm.
all that. Okay, That's interesting. I did think I was going to be an architect when I got older. So, are you a professional architect now? Is that your
No,
main
I'm not.
thing, or what do you do?
Unfortunately, I still need to pass a few more exams. It's like a million. It's so many steps, but I will, I'm getting there. I pretty much have done every step except for a couple of exams. So it's six
Okay.
exams you have to actually take. I've passed about half, so I have a few more. But it's funny because and that also kind of goes back to the DJ thing for me. I've always been architecture adjacent, so I've worked in like engineering, I've worked in construction. Right now, even what I'm doing is somewhat architecture adjacent, but it's really great. I love it. Um, and when I'm in the adjacent times, I like feel like my creativity in music has to increase. I'm like, I need more creativity. So that was when I like actually learned to DJ when I was working for an electrical engineering company, and doing like drafting work. I was like, man, I need something creative. Like, I'm gonna do something. So then I ended up finding a class, and that's how I learned to DJ. It was like a very formal course, but what was great about it is that it was taught by one of the most reputable DJs in Detroit. It was by a female, which I'd been looking for a female. Like I wanted to learn by one from a woman. And then from that, I got a mentor. So I still, when I go back to Detroit, we're still doing events together. I want her to come down here. So it's been great.
Nice. Who's that supported you there?
That's Hot Wax. Her
Hot
name is Hot
Wax.
Wax.
Okay, nice. Very cool. So that kind of led into my next question as to who do you feel supported you the most through your journey musically?
I would say Hot Wax. I mean, I wish I could say it was like a significant other or like a family member. I would love to say that. And I think they have supported me at moments in time, but I would say consistently, definitely Hot Wax. And it's funny because so it was like basically a 1 week course. And the way I found out about it is like, okay, it was a big festival that ended, and then I lived in the city at the time in Detroit. So I was biking downtown and then I was biking home. And on my way home, I saw a flyer in a window in a building I'd never been in before. And it had her face on it, and it was like learn to DJ. And these dates, which is kind of like in a couple of weeks, it had a certain amount of money. I thought learning to DJ would be like 2,000, like thousands of dollars, but it was like a good rate. I had the time, I had the money. Like I said, I was looking for something creative at the time. I'm like, I'm so bored here. And also, I'd been reaching out to DJs to teach me. So I'm like, okay, this is my chance. So I ended up taking the class, and I would say like the first day of the class, she's trying to get us to like blend music on controllers. And she's like, okay, here's this hip hop song, and this is my hip hop playlist. And I was like, where is the house? She remembers that because most of the students, I would say like 95% they were okay with the hip hop. They're like, this is what I prefer. But I'm like, I came for electronic. That's what I want to be. So she remembered that, and then she was like excited, and she was like, bring a USB, and then I got a lot of music from her at the time. I've you know, lost a million USBs since then, so I don't have that music anymore. But I have mixes with that music, which I feel like mixes are like moments in time that you post or keep. It's like, wow, I remember this like combination. Like it was just so but yeah, since then when I finished that course, she kind of started a little collective and we were doing events together. And then also, of course, my little journey kind of, I started to promote myself and then others reached out and I was collaborating with other people. But anytime I start and stop, I'll kind of reach out to her and say, hey, I have this idea. What do you think about this? Or I think I want to do this and that. So she's definitely someone that is really helpful. So she's been just really instrumental when I start and stop. She's kind of like a person that's consistently, and I think that's the thing too, like she has longevity in the industry, like she's had the ebbs and flows, being the newest young thing and also being like, the mentor established icon. So, and also walking in that, not because there are, some opportunities that do come your way, but they kind of sell you short. So just knowing your worth as well. So, she's just been great. And like I said, I've done interviews with her. I'll start a new opportunity and I'll say, hey, can you be my special guest to start, just to have someone. And she's always on board. She's very positive and enthusiastic. If I need to go and practice, I'm in the city of Detroit and I have a gig and I'm like, I need to practice on this certain type of equipment. She has lots of equipment at her house and she'll let me come by. So she's been really helpful. I'm so thankful. And hopefully I can be that to someone else.
It's always good to have people around you that can support that can support the focus that you want, and especially without any kind of judgment. We put ourselves out there, we kind of play things that we like and love,
Hmm.
and we need somebody just to kind of be out there to support us sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's great when you can have that, especially because a lot of times people gatekeep, um,
Hmm.
especially music, which seems ridiculous in this day and age. Nowadays, it's like there's so much hot music out there. It's
There's
like
so much. Yeah.
you can't
Every
even
day
play
it's
enough
favorite.
of it. You can't even play all of it.
Yeah.
And so, gatekeeping music as well as gatekeeping uh, venues, you know, play, promoters, stuff like that. It's just sometimes we just got to keep uh, challenging ourselves, and a lot of times it is people who are just like tired of being able to tired of having to challenge themselves,
Hmm.
feeling like they're entitled to something. But when you're doing something artistic, uh,
Hmm.
for art's sake, you have to keep up, or
Yes, it's
you'll just
true.
get left behind. And so you find that a lot. Actually, you find that a lot in house music too. I mean, there's a lot of these
Mm.
purists who just want to hear the classics, and
Hmm.
it's it's
Yeah.
it's fine. I love classic house music, but there's so much that's coming out like daily, if not
Yeah.
monthly, and
And there's new classics. That's the crazy thing. I'm
Yeah.
like, there's like pop. I guess you could say like pop. I call it pop house. Like, you
What, like
know,
one more time and stuff like that, or
like Fisher,
okay,
for
yeah,
instance. Yeah, I'm losing it. Like there,
sure,
I'll play. Like I don't personally love that song, but I'm like, okay, let's bring up the energy, and then people like know the words to it. I'm like, okay, this is like a new classic.
yeah. I think there's a distinctive difference between like the person who's like playing for kind of just trying to be good at like navigating an audience.
Hmm.
Not really like there people aren't just there just to hear what you play, but they're also there to just kind of party. And so there is a skill set that it takes to be able to run a party with a bunch of people that you're like, you may or may not be familiar with them
Yeah.
completely, as a crowd.
Hmm.
um if I'm used to playing soulful house music and deep stuff
Hmm.
to like primarily African American and Hispanic crowd,
Hmm.
and I go to this party and it's a bunch of like finance bros and stuff like that. It's like, okay, are they going to get this as much? Who
Yeah.
knows? And so a lot of times you have to be really good at navigating that. Yeah, and not all of us are.
Hmm.
It's a
That's so true.
skill set that
I'm
comes with
learning.
time.
I appreciate every venue so far that's given me the opportunity to do that, especially here in Houston. I haven't played at the venues that I have residencies at are not strictly electronic music venues. They're like everyday people that come in there. So I literally find myself playing, it's unfortunate in some ways, a lot of remixes with covers, like electronic remixes and their covers to try to draw them in. But then it's times where I've invited house music dancers and they're like, I dance to deep house. So I'll just play like all deep house for like hours. And because of their energy and and that's kind of what happens at exposure because of the dancer's energy, that kind of rubs off on other people and they feel, that they're free to dance. It's an invitation for others to dance and not be so scared, of the dance floor. So yeah, it's a balance. I agree, and I'm definitely trying to navigate that too.
Do you have some memorable moments so far in your career? How long have you been DJing?
So I've been DJing since I learned to DJ in 2018.
Hmm.
So like I said, I stopped for 4 years and then came back. So I've been in Houston, so I've been doing that since I guess 2 years ago I got back into it.
Nice.
Hmm.
2 years. I'm trying to remember what it was like for me at 2 years. I was still playing on turntables that have the little knobs on them. They're not even like,
Oh,
not even the sliders. I was still
okay.
DJing on those types of old school turntables. That was really hard to learn um, how to kind of get within that BPM so that you can lock in like a solid mix. But it took
Hmm.
some time, and then it made actually DJing on Techniques turntables. It made it so much easier. Were you ever a turntable DJ, or
Yeah, I have
did you?
techniques.
Okay, nice.
No, I'm not though. So
Oh, you
I
don't.
own
Oh,
them.
okay.
Just I've not mastered it though. I do need to take the time to master it. So, but mark my words, I think b before this year is over, it's gonna happen. I've been kind of like, you know, it's the same process. Who can teach me? I found someone that can teach me, so I'm gonna just set up some time and make it happen.
So I always wonder, especially with somebody who's as young as you are, in terms of being in this industry, how you embrace technology, how it's worked out for you, and what has maybe even changed through the time that you've started DJing.
Um, so when I started, there were controllers and CDJs. I felt like the standard for clubs was Pioneer CDJs. And I feel like it is still somewhat a standard, and then they'll have other equipment as well. Hopefully, depending on the person that's playing. And I think some things I have seen, like I use everything except for still learning vinyl. Okay, but but when it comes to Serato and Record Box, Serato does have, I like that stems, like you can extract stems now, so I find myself making a lot more remixes on the spot. Um, Also just I haven't been into like the beat machines, but I do want to get more into that. So I would love to like also when I started um what was that software called? It was called
Fruity
it's one of the
Loops?
music production software, and it's like Ableton.
Ableton. Yep.
So seeing like the Ableton push and then using like the loops to perform live, I really like that. I don't know how much it's taken off. I don't know that it has taken off, but I would love to incorporate more of that. I just have to figure it out, all the connections, because I am a one woman show, by the way. Like I said, I don't really, even though I have some people that are here with me in Houston, they don't really support me like that. I honestly don't have support, to be honest. That's here with me. So I had to figure out, like, I stream everything. Also, streaming, that's another thing that's new. People are like, and that's what I'm like, new DJs, you can get started from your bedroom if you want to. Just, watch some YouTube videos, buy the equipment, slide in some DMs so you can get a mentor and just like get out there, like just start putting something out. But yeah, I was a part of the streaming community for like all of last year. Every single Saturday, I went live on Kick. That was my primary platform. People knew where to find me, but that digital, like that's technology, as well. Like, and it also introduced me to a global audience. Even like some of the greats in techno, they didn't know about me, but somehow they found my show, and now we're friends, because they were following the show. They looked forward to the show. So, and then just also AI. When it comes to AI and how it's creating music, I do find that I like it. I think you can make like loops, that you can sample and bring back to your productions, your music, and like, maybe, play off a thing. So I like technology. I think it's definitely consuming people and creators. Unfortunately, I'm seeing a lot of influencer influencers, and I don't honestly have the time to play with it as much as I previously had, but I think it can work hand in hand with creators. I think you can still be the master of technology. Don't let it master you.
Okay.
What do you think about it?
I don't know. It's really weird, honestly. It's just weird to me. I don't understand. And it's not about I think it could easily, especially for musicians who had to go through the had to suck, basically. Musicians who had to go through being shitty musicians, DJs who had to go through being shitty DJs for a
Mm,
while. And eventually you found your voice. Eventually you found that. Now, I think a lot of people in those industries would be like, man, you didn't pay your dues. You're not, and it's not that for me, really. I just want to make sure that's clear. It just, I think that part of creating anything, part of building anything and starting anything is
mm.
about the suck. It's about the like the shit that fucking just you don't want to do. You don't want to you want
Mhm.
to go straight to being dope, and I
Yeah,
get it. But there's so much that you learn in the humility of just being a mid-ass DJ, like for
I'm
maybe
telling
even a longer
you.
time than you want to be.
Yeah, DJing to empty clubs is not fun, but you
No, it's not.
learn to pull people in with your sound. Like you,
Yeah.
you just have to make it work. You try to get people to stay, like through your sound.
And you'll find out
So,
what interests you as well, because honestly, it's not always about making the whole place go crazy. Yeah, that's fun. It's very fun to make the whole place go wild with the stuff that you play. But are you doing it because you just played the most popular song out there, or are you doing it because people are like, "What the fuck did you just do?" That
mhm.
I think is where I kind of fit in, where I feel validated is when I do something interesting and people recognize it, and then I'm like, okay, that was fun. That
Do
feels
that
like
one
a
more time.
performance. It feels like a performance better than playing
Yeah.
like the big
Hmm.
room track that everybody knows. It's like, okay, yeah, this is a great song, but you know, but I always like to hear other people's perspective, because it's like you do as a like it's speaking as a senior veteran DJ. So as an elder statesman, I will say that there is something about there that learning curve has really changed a lot for DJs, and I think it
Hmm.
could potentially be a good thing. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, people were talking shit about synthesizers and talking shit about, drum machines at
Hmm.
one point, and now they're the sound of a generation.
Hmm.
So you never know. I mean, we could go back to really putting a lot more appreciation in things that are done by hand that are just a little imperfect. That sort
Yeah.
of Jay Dilla, aesthetic to music that was just
Hmm.
it was so unmistakable. It was like you couldn't, it wasn't an easy thing to DJ,
Yeah.
donuts, say for instance, because short hot tracks in a period of 2 to 3 minutes, but like
Hmm.
DJs found a way to do it, made it make it work.
Mm. Hmm.
Um, so I think something handmade maybe would sound
Yeah.
more would be more nostalgic for people. So we'll see how it goes. I mean,
That's a good point.
yeah. I mean, the great thing about technology is it's only going to open up opportunities. If we had never invented a sampler, we wouldn't have
Hmm.
house music in a in a
True.
in a big portion of. If we didn't have a sampler, we wouldn't have hip hop. If we didn't have samplers, we wouldn't have. So that's technology. So
Hmm.
I'm not afraid of it. But what do you think that the music in general has taught you about yourself? Like, do you feel like you've learned something about yourself being a musical artist?
I've definitely learned a lot of resilience. Like, I'm just like I have shocked myself and how I've kept going despite just a lot of pushback um and even trolls and like all the things. So I've learned to not take things as personal, um, to not be afraid of people's faces or demeanors because you're creating, like I am, you know, I'm elevating the space. I'm creating an experience. It taught me a lot about, more about respecting the entertainment world. People think that entertainers, oh, about me though. Sorry. But yeah, just kind of, I am an entertainer now. I didn't, think DJ was that necessarily. I just thought, they're just in the corner. But like, no, you're here to do a job. So, um, yeah, just kind of how to be resilient, I don't know. That's a good question.
I think you answered it. I think there's, for a lot of people, I don't know how old you are. You're probably in your 20s. I always say that like you're really not a real adult till you're at least 25. And the reason
Hmm.
why I say that is because we all have we're always from 25 to probably about 12 or 13 years of age. we start really getting this kind of self-aware idea of like who we are, right? And who we are in the community that we're in, even, and when you find yourself at that point and you're like, I don't really fit in here, but I really like what's going on over there, then we start to
Hmm.
really kind of um, develop who we are as people. And I grew up listening. My dad and mom are Mexican, um, listening to Mexican music, and then my dad listened to R&B, right?
Nice.
And I hated that music. I hated everything about both types of music. I wanted to hear it loud and fast. I wanted to
Okay.
be like angsty and mean,
Yeah.
about life and all that stuff. But then as I started to grow up, I realized like the stuff that my dad was listening to was the music of like my people, so to speak, and
Yeah.
like when I started to understand what they were saying in Spanish about being hardworking, about
Mm.
all this, it was really interesting to me. Ranchero music and norteño and tejano music, they're
Hmm.
all like working class music.
Mm.
It's about love and unreasonable love. It's the same
Hmm.
thing as R&B. Honestly, it's like
Hmm.
you listen to R&B and you're like, what? It's like
Yeah.
unreasonable expectations of love and all that stuff. It's the same thing. But
Yeah.
why can't we dream, for those types of things? And so
So true.
as I started to get older, music started to teach me that like you need to remember where you come from
Hmm.
and like always be kind of true to that. Because
Mm.
once you start losing who you are, truly like losing where you come from or forgetting where you come from, then you stop being connected with the world, because
Hmm.
you can't be real enough to be like you're just a Mexican kid from the small town Texas,
Yeah.
and you grew up with these values. And so this music is a way for me to stay connected, and that's what it's taught me, is to have a voice
Yeah.
through do that. So
Yeah. I will say you reminded me. It helped. Music has helped me to trust myself as well. Like you said, sometimes you'll try something and it works, and you're like, okay, why did I doubt that it wouldn't work? You know? So it helps you to not second guess and to take that risk, also to, just try different things, be more risky, and it may work. So yes, thank you for reminding me of the interconnection, that music brings.
So, if you had any advice to give to a young and up and coming DJ, what would be a good couple of tidbits to give to them?
For me, I know you said pay your dues, but I say jump in. I think it's so many resources today where you can just, if this is what you're passionate about, you can try it. And then if you want to quit, at least you tried it, like so yeah, just go out, find an online school or find a mentor, ask them if they can teach you to DJ. Sometimes they'll teach you for free. Help them out, like carry their equipment, help them set up for events. If it's an event that you want to be a part of, a lot of times it's not a large staff for a lot of these different events that is putting on events. So they need extra hands in different ways. So you may have, as a younger person, more experience in TikTok or Instagram or streaming. You might have some ideas that can take what they're doing to the next level. So have conversations, pick their brain, see what their journey is like, see what the pitfalls are, see what the successes look like, and keep that contact throughout the course of your journey so that you can, be successful. You won't avoid the pitfalls that they may have, gone into. But yeah, just get started, jump in, practice. They say that I think it's 10,000 hours make you a professional of something. So get your 10,000 hours in. And whether it's to me, like I said, sometimes you can practice just by streaming. I would go live streaming and just when I didn't have a full-time job at the time, for hours, and people would join in and comment, and I built a community. So find community, find like-minded individuals that can also help you on your journey, that are just as passionate as you, that can sharpen you. And yeah, don't quit. It's going to be ebbs and flows in this journey, but if you see yourself doing this in the long run, just keep jumping back in. Even when you stop, when you find a wave that you can jump back in on, jump in and keep going like you never stopped.
That's solid advice. Seriously. Make sure you write that down. So urban alternative dance music is what Greg and I like to call it. And
Yes. We're part of the alt community. I've
yeah,
I've kind of realized that it's alternative.
yeah. So I mean, it's a beautiful city. There's a ton of people that are there to support it. We're just trying to build our audience more and more over time, and have that reach. There's a lot of great
Yeah.
people doing it out there. You got Mood
Oh
to
yeah.
Move. You got ourselves. A lot of guys out there. DJ Era. All
Hmm.
these guys that are out there just really pushing it. Malcolm Bravo, Noe Lopez, Oye Manny.
Hmm.
So we just want to be a part of that and be an extra steward of beautiful music.
I love it. Yeah, it's so positive and uplifting and healing.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah.
welcome to the team. You're the one of the newest crew members of the Exposure crew. Why don't you tell
Hey.
everybody how they find out about you on your Instagram, your Facebook, if you have it, any other social media sites?
Okay, so I don't have Facebook on my phone anymore, but I do have a Facebook page. So yes, you can follow me on Facebook. It's set up, but my main platform right now is Instagram. So I do, if I'm having any new events, I'm putting it on Instagram. And my handle is Gia Detroit, Giadetroit. That's across all platforms, TikTok as well. I used to do a weekly kick show, but I've been so busy I can't do it as often. But that's also a base. I try to do a monthly thing on there. You can also find me in person. But before that, I do want to say I have a website as well. It's www.giadetet.com. And it has like my resume, it has photos, it has a bio, as well as my calendar of events. Um, but regular, I will be at Exposure. I'm excited to do that. That's going to be 7/26, I believe. That same day, I have three events actually. So you can start the morning and end the night with me. That morning, can I talk about my events? I don't
Oh,
know.
please, yeah, let everybody know.
Okay. So, I actually do a monthly event at a coffee shop called Native Frequency. We also invite guest DJs, and I'm hoping to invite you guys too. I want to actually host a festival before the summer's over. So I would love to have like more of a house music stage and like a techno stage and have people there as long as we can have you there. So, but with that being said, on 7/26 from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., we're having Native Frequency at Native Coffee in Houston, Texas. And then if you want to hang out with me some more, I'll be at the Thompson Hotel on the seventh level from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And then we'll have a nightcap at Exposure. I'm excited to play some soulful house music. I'm excited to see the dancers and just feel the vibes in my heart, like the deep cuts, the deep soul music, the healing music for me too. So healing. I'm excited to be a part of that on 7/26 from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. So that's what I have going on. And any other things in between. I have residencies. You can go to Instagram, it's in my bio, or go to giadet.com for more.
Nice, very cool. Well, thanks for spending some time with me. We'll get this out as soon as possible, and I'll let you know everything whenever it's ready.
Thank you, Jay. I appreciate you.
All right, peace.